my name is Louise Dente, and I welcome you to yet another edition of Cultural Caravan. On this edition, we're honored to be joined by the legendary Calypso Rose. Calypso Rose has entertained audiences for close to 60 years, and worldwide, people are familiar with her wonderful songs that bespeak the wonders of Calypso culture. We are going to meet Calypso Rose and learn about her early influences and just some of the wonderful things and trails that she's blazed for generations. Are you ready to go? Well, I am. Let's go.
They jumping in the city, West Indian happy, happy whole time, forever day. I tell you, no problem, for we take over Harlem Sunday, Eve of Labor Day. Virgin Islands crew in town, St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John. When you hear the cowbell ring, Harlem will be jumping. Hey, hey, Carnival, hey, hey, Bacchanal, hey, hey, Carnival, oh yeah. Virgin Islands in town for Labor Day. The action will be heavy, people from the whole country.
On this edition, we're honored to be joined by Her Majesty, Queen Mother Calypso Rose. Welcome to Cultural Caravan.
Happy am I to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Calypso Rose has been in show business for over close to 60 years, and we are very honored, Calypso Rose, to really be joined by you and for you to just tell us about some of the things that inspired you to get into the business. So let me just get started. Tell us what inspired you to enter show business close to 60 years ago.
Well, I'm number one. I couldn't speak when I was small. I couldn't speak at all. I had a defective speech, and I am an adopted child. And the lady who adopted me, my uncle's girlfriend, she had those Bicolia, Victrola player that you have to wind it up, and those big 33-inch calypso music. And she always used to be playing those, the Lion, Attila the Hunter, and all these deceased age calypsonians. And I had loved those type of music. I had loved the calypsos. I had loved what they were saying and the way how they were singing it with the patrol one day.
Dictators are ungenerous, their actions highly advantageous by sea and land. That's how Red Russia invade Finland. Dictators are ungenerous, their action highly advantageous by sea and land. That's how Red Russia invade Finland.
And then I started writing. I started writing my own songs and singing it at school concerts and birthdays and such like that. And in 1955, when Dr. Eric Williams, the late Dr. Eric Williams, which was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, when he won the seat as the Prime Minister in those days of Trinidad and Tobago, I sang for him. And he said, oh, you are very good. You should be in the Calypso tent. And so I told my aunt what he says, and then my aunt took me to the original Young Brigade Calypso tent managers. And I sang my 2 songs there for them. And they said, oh, you are good. What is your Calypso name? And being as a Tobagonian, was being born in Tobago and knew the history of Robinson Crusoe, I say, my name is Crusoe Kid. And they say, oh no, we are going to change your name. We are going to call you Calypso Rose, because Rose is the mother of all flowers. And thank God they did, because that name has inspired me more and more and more. and have given me tremendous amount of success in my career.
Wonderful. And you know, I know that you're the author of over 800 calypsos. How did you accomplish such a feat?
You know, as years gone by, they didn't have nothing that they called computer. They didn't have cell phone. So this was my computer, my brain. And you could call any song that I have, and I will just bring it back up here and start singing for you. And you know, I believe it's a gift that was been given to me, to write and to retain. To write and to retain was very great. And I used to just visualize things. Some of my calypsos, I got them in my dreams, my dream and vision. And some of them, I saw things happen and I wrote about it. Like I say that we the Calypsonians are reporters in song. Instead of writing in newspapers, say we write and we sing it, so the people would understand and comprehend. And that's what I did for years. And you know, in the Calypso tent in Trinidad and Tobago, one must have new songs for the carnival season every year. So you have to be great to be composing and writing to fill the needs of the people.
When people think of some of your hits, which are many, there's some of them that come to mind is Fire in Me Wire.
Fire in Me Wire, fire, 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 fire. Fire, Fire in My Wire was being composed by me in 3 different islands. I started the first verse in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I was in the showering one day, one morning, with a Saturday morning. And I visualized that I'm in Trinidad. And this old Indian lady living in this, like a pasture. And then the nearest neighbor is a Indian guy named Ram Singh. Because the houses were so far, and she house caught a fire. And then she started running and bawling, fire, 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 fire. And the neighbor Ram Singh, he came running, and she said, bring your hose and let go the water to open fire. And then I forgot the calypso. And then I left to come home for the carnival season to perform in the calypso tent. And I stopped off in Barbados. And at the hotel one morning, I was showering again. And this melody came to me. I said, but that song like some song I know. And then I remember it's a song I was writing. And I wrote the second verse in Barbados.
Wow.
And the third verse was written in Trinidad. And Fire in Your Wire is really it is not deemed an international calypso, which now has been sung in 9 different languages.
Wow.
The Japanese are the last to pick it up.
Wow, that is something.
And then after going back, my great-great-great-grandfather, the slave Sandy, that burned down the Governor General House in Tobago to free the slaves. The lady who adopted me, she says, you must know why you write that song. Your great-great-great ancestor probably gave you that song, Fire, Fire in My Wire. So every year in Tobago, slavery abolishes 1 second after midnight on the 1st of August. And all the bands, everybody coming down with a bull de feu, singing Fire, 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 Fire in Your Wire.
Wow. You know, when someone listens to your music, there's such a sense of culture, there's such a sense of community. Let's first talk about your connection to your roots. In your music, you do talk about your ancestry.
Ancestors,
and you
yes.
trace your ancestry back to Africa. Tell us about that.
My great-grandmother, I knew my great-grandmother before she died. When she died, I was 6 years of age. I did not leave to go because my aunt took me when I was 9. But I knew her. She was a tall, thin lady. And you know, long time, those age people, we used to call them old people long time. Now we say seniors. She used to wear them frock with the frills up to her neck and the frills all the way, and the sleeves with the frill. And she used to be smoking the charcoal pipe. But she used to be tell us about where she came from. And she was from Guinea, Africa. She was kidnapped, bought, and sold from the French to the British, and end up in Tobago in Mount Irving Bay. And every evening, she used to be stooping down with her long frock and throw it between her legs, and she smoking her charcoal pipe and watching the sea, Mount Irving, because we from Bethel, and the sea from Bethel is Mount Irving Bay. And one evening, she just shook her head, and she took out the pipe, and she said, "Ow, me picnic, no man know the burial ground." And I did not know what Grandma was saying until when I got big. I realized what she was saying. She was telling us, "My child, no one knows where they will be buried after they die." And my great-grandmother never went back to Guinea. She came from the Ibu tribe because she said, tell us about the tribe. And Tobagonians are 100% African. And I have been to Liberia, and I've been to Benin, and I see the same culture. Like in Tobago, we go to roast the provision in a coal pot, and the same thing I see in Africa. They gonna be roasting the fish in the coal pot on coals or in the wood fire, and the same thing that I saw in Africa. So my ancestral, the roots, and then from my father's side, the Sandy, the slave Sandy came from South Africa.
Wow.
And when I wrote in 1978, the Calypso that I won the road march, Kamle with Jam, was being given to me in my dream by my great-grandmother, the slave from Africa. Sitting on another man's land, are only suffering. Toiling up another man's land, are getting nothing. My culture, creed, and race, wherever it was placed, I'm going to find it. Oh yes, I'm going to find it. Because I want to go, but the land is too far. I want to go, I'm begging Jah. Over yonder, where there's many, many moons yonder, I want to go back to Africa. Doing what another man say, I getting stupid. Doing what another man do, me mind corrupted. This jungle that I'm in, I know I cannot win. I'm going to find it. Oh yes, I'm going to find it. Because I want to go, but the land is too far. I want to go, I am begging Jah. Over yonder, where there's many, many moons yonder, I want to go back to Africa. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go back to Africa. My grandmother never went back to Africa. She died and buried in Tobago. I had won the road march in 1977 with Give Me More Tempo, going down San Fernando. And I was chosen to perform in the British island of Tortola. So just came from work, we'll say Sunday morning, because Saturday night into Sunday morning. I took a shower, and the television was on, and I went and just lie down, and I could hear I could hear the television. But then I hear a chant. And to me, like I opened my eyes slightly and I saw this tall lady coming up a hill and raising her hand and saying, "Awo, awo, eh, oh. Awo, awo, eh, oh. Awo, awo, eh, oh. Awo." And then I saw a blackboard and I saw the lyrics. I can't take this feel in my heart. And oof. And then I wouldn't hear in the background. And when I look, I saw a bunch of African men behind us singing, bim, 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 bim. And they come up the hill and they were dancing like this. And they were dancing, they were dancing. And I opened my eye. And I pick up a book. Pen and a pencil, and I start to write, and that gave me the road march of 1978, Come Lewi Jam, and gave me the first female to ever win the Monarch and the first Calypsonian, because years gone by, it used to be the Calypso King competition, and the Carnival Committee been bouncing their heads. If Calypso Rose win this crown, we can't call her Calypso King. Trinidad and Tobago became a republic nation in September 1977. So that's how come they changed the name.
Now,
To come into 1978, becoming a republic nation, there are no kings, no queens, they are monarchs.
Yes.
And I, your humble servant, took that title.
well, that is one of the reasons why you were a trailblazer in terms of actually, particularly, and you talk about the role of women in Calypso and the fact that your presence, and basically maybe just share with us your experiences being a woman in Calypso amongst all these men. How were you treated? How was the response?
In the Calypso tent, I was treated very good with the other Calypsonian, with the male Calypsonian, because I was an asset to the Calypso tent. The tent managers, they all had loved me. But there were members of church groups. I would not call the different denomination, but there were so many. They've been calling me into meeting upon meeting upon meeting. Why are you saying Calypso? Calypso doesn't belong to a woman. Calypso is a man's role. And they had me that I was going from meeting upon meeting upon meeting. And they knew that my father was a spiritual Baptist minister. So one day I tell them, I say, let me tell you all something. I say, I will not be like the foolish virgin that bury the talent in this, the oil in the sand. Not at all. I said, the good Lord blessed me with the inspiration to create lyrics, to bring joy into the hearts of people. And you all want to come and take it away from me? I say, I'm very sorry. And I get up and I walk out. And the next year, Tobago was being hit with hurricane that took 8 lives. And I wrote Hurricane Flora. And I brought in after every verse, I brought in, abide with me. Fast falls the evening tide. And they said, oh, she's singing something good now.
And just think about all of the female Calypsonians that owe their careers to you, laying out being a trailblazer. And it's just so important that we recognize your role in terms of opening the doors to this very unique African art form of Calypso. So we thank you. Now, you mentioned about, when you think about the songs and think about your career, you know, you have actually become an ambassador of Calypso music across the world. As you mentioned, there are people all over the earth that sing songs that are so just think about that role. What do you just share any thoughts or any experiences that you like to share with the audience about your travels abroad to the many different parts of the earth in sharing this wonderful music?
All over the world I go, the people love me. I could remember that 2 years ago I performed for the king of Morocco, Zabak, Morocco. And I was on stage concluding my show, and I always end my show with fire. And the next thing, there were 10,000 people in the stadium. And the next thing, I felt vibrations. I don't know where it came from, but when I look, the stage was full of children singing fire, fire in Arabic. And when they finished, they draped me with the flag of Morocco. And after they fold the flag and hand the flag to me, I have the flag here with me right now. That's one of my great experiences. There are many, many great experiences. In France, I don't know. All over the world I go, like children have I have a magnet on children. Children will be just there dancing with me, dancing in front of me, behind me, they all, oh, and the hands stretch out, the children. Oh my God. It is so great. Thank God for the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding.
Wow. In terms of just reflecting on the power of the music and how the music has been a means of uniting people, when you think about the trail, the road that you've traveled, and you look at the state of the music now, what do you think about where Calypso was and where it is today?
Calypso has changed immensely. In the years before I started singing I need to listen to King Radio, Duke, Attila the Hunt, and all these. They were like Santi Manite and minor. And it has changed from the minor straight into the street. Now, Calypso now was the real, as you know, Calypso music originated out of Africa.
Yes.
West Africa. Calypso music originate out of Africa. And it has changed from the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s into now. Now, years ago, we never go into the studio unless we have a full brass, live brass section, which is two trumpets, two trumpets, a tenor sax, a alto sax, a trombone, guitar, bass, keyboard, drums, and all this sort of thing. Now, it has changed so immensely and bad now that you could have a one room with a computer and that's it. And that is it. And less lyrics, more noise, plenty noise, and less lyrics. It has changed immensely. People want to hear the music and the lyrics. They want to hear a story. They want to hear a story.
And you know, that is something that has actually been an impact on our music, whether it be in the Caribbean, whether it be here in America. The music has been, what do you call it? I don't want to use the word modernized, but changed, adjusted.
It has changed.
And the essence, which you talked about in terms of the fact that people, it was instruction. I mean, with the Calypso music and the Calypsonian using the genius of being able to say things in multiple meanings and be able to talk in a presence, even to talk about something that's sensual, but in a way that children won't even know what they're talking about. It's just such a wonderful music, and the fact that, as you said, that the music has changed, that people are watered down. And how, and I guess the question here is, how do we preserve the art form, the original, the uniqueness of the art form?
By preserving it, you have to give your fans whatever they want. That's the reason why I'm been performing all over the world today, because they understand the music, what Calypso Rose is saying, and the messages what Calypso Rose is sending.
And, you know, when you think about the fact that there's a new generation of people coming up, and you reflect on the strength of your powerful career in terms of the fact that to this very day, you have fans all over the world who are still singing your wonderful songs. And I know one of your songs, Israel by Bus, is another one that is really taking the world by storm.
Oh, yes.
For those out there who are considering, particularly women, but all of us, those people who are interested in music careers.
Especially the younger ones.
Absolutely. Tell us what recommendations you have for those interested.
If you want to stay on the scene in form of entertaining, you got to put your fans first in front. because they are the ones that make you and they are the ones will break you. You got to lie down and think, how could I let my fans love me? You got to give them what they want. You got to compose a type of music. You got to send your thoughts out there and tell yourself, I am on stage and there are thousands of people in front of me and I'm singing this song and visualize how they're moving and ask the Lord to give you the mentality to write the lyrics. To write the lyrics that they will understand, because music is a universal language.
Absolutely. And one of the things we want to say, Calypso Rose, on behalf of Cultural Caravan TV, we want to salute your work. We want to salute your contributions to our music, to our culture, the dignity, grace, and beauty that you present when you enter the stage. And we want to, again, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we wish you many more years of just celebrating us, celebrating our culture and history. And again, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast, and we continue to encourage you to tune in, to write, and to tell a friend. But until next time, Louise Dente saying thank you.
Rastafari, brother man. Come, little children, get on the Israelite bus. Sit by the wayside, looking as though you're getting lost. Me gonna take you from Babylon. Me gonna take care of me children. Don't think the journey is in vain. Me gonna lose the chain. From out of bondage, Israel. By bus, we going, Israel. By bus, we going, Israel. By bus, natty dread, natty Congo, Israel. By bus, Rastafari.